Greetings, children. Welcome to my channel, Inside Accountancy by Shakun. Accountancy Made Easy. Today, we'll be talking about Chapter 6, Retirement of a Partner. So, here starts the lesson. In this video, we'll be talking about the retirement of a partner, treatment of reserves and accumulated profits and losses. Some questions from T.S. Garewal can be done as for practice as an assignment. Moving on, what is retirement of a partner? Retirement of a partner means the retiring partner, he ceases to be a partner of the firm, but the firm continues. That is, the firm continues its business with the remaining or the continuing partners in accordance with the new partnership deed. Retirement of a partner leads to the reconstitution of the firm, and there are certain adjustments which have to be given proper effect, such as change in profit sharing ratio, treatment of goodwill. Both of these topics we have already covered in our previous videos. For more details, you can please click on the I button. The other adjustments to be made are in respect of treatment of accumulated profits and losses, the revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities, and the preparation of partners' capital account. In this video, we will be talking about the treatment of accumulated profits and losses as well as the reserves at the time of change in the profit sharing ratio at the time of retirement of a partner. So moving on. Any kind of accumulated profits or reserves that are available in the firm's balance sheet at the time of retirement of a partner are always transferred to partner's capital or current account in the profit sharing ratio. The logic behind that is that all these profits and reserves and the losses, they belonged to a period before the retirement of a partner. Therefore, the retiring partner also must have a share in these accumulated profits or losses. The various accumulated profits or losses that might be shown in the balance sheet are general reserve, profit and loss account, workmen compensation reserve, investment fluctuation fund, and employee provident fund. All these are mentioned on the credit side or the liability side. All these have a credit balance. Now, on the asset side, that is the debit side, I've mentioned profit and loss account, the DR balance, goodwill, the old goodwill, advertisement suspense, and deferred revenue expenditure, the benefit of which of the expenditure which we get in the future years. So, if any kind of accumulated profit and reserves are given, they must be written off and they must be transferred to partners' capital or current account. Please note that I have mentioned employee provident fund here. Now, employee provident fund is an outside liability that is not a part of our accumulated profit or reserve. So, it is not transferred to the partner's capital account. My point of writing it here was that majority of the students, they think that this is also accumulated profit or loss and they transfer it to the partner's capital. But please make sure EPF is outside liability. It is the amount which is to be paid to the employees. Therefore, it should not be written off. Moving on. What would be the journal entry in case of reserves or accumulated profits? So all the reserves or accumulated profits have a CR balance. Hence, they should be debited because we need to write them off. So any reserve or any profit and loss CR balance or workman compensation reserve or investment fluctuation reserve should be debited because they have a CR balance and they should be transferred to all the partners' capital or current account in their old ratio. Now, talking about the accumulated losses appear on the asset side of the balance sheet and they have a debit balance. So when we need to write them off, we have to credit them. Therefore, all partners' capital or current account should be debited because they are going to bear that loss, and all the accumulated losses should be credited, such as profit and loss DR balance or deferred revenue expenditure or the goodwill, that is the old goodwill. All these entries or all this transfer or all this writing off has to be done in the old ratio, and retiring partner also gets to have a share in these. Moving on, I have made an asterisk here, which means that workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve always carry some or the other adjustment with them. So their entry is not as simple as it appears here. So there will be some or the other kind of adjustment given along with WCR or IFR. So we will be talking about them in detail. Let's look at workmen compensation reserve again. I would like to point out that workmen compensation reserve is always distributed in the old ratio. Now there are certain cases associated. Let's talk about them one by one. So first case is when no claim against workmen compensation reserve is given. Now what is workmen compensation reserve? It is a reserve which is created in order to compensate the workers for any kind of accidents that may happen in the factory or office, etc. So when there is no claim, that means you don't have to pay any amount to the workers. In that case, the workmen compensation reserve is simply distributed between the partners. So it is written off, it is debited, and the partner's capital account is credited. So WCR account DR to partner's capital or current account would be the entry. The second case is when there is claim on account of workmen compensation reserve. So second case is when we have to pay a certain amount to the workers as claim. In that case, there are three further cases. The first case is when the claim is equal to workmen compensation reserve. That means if, for example, we have a workmen compensation reserve of 20,000, say, and the claim that we have to pay to the workers is also 20,000, that means that 20,000 claim is covered up from WCR. So there is no amount that is left to be written off. So our entry would be workmen compensation reserve account DR to claim for workmen compensation. Moving on, the next case is when claim is lesser than workmen compensation reserve. What does this mean? For example, if the workmen compensation reserve is 20,000 as it was in the previous case, but the claim in this case is, let's say, 15,000. Now the claim is lesser than WCR. So we can easily cover up the claim from WCR, but we are still left with 5,000, which should be written off between the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So workmen compensation reserve will be debited with the full amount 20,000. Then the claim for workmen compensation will be credited with the amount of claim, that is 15,000, and the remaining 5,000 will be distributed between the partners in their profit sharing ratio, the old ratio. The last case is when claim is greater than workmen compensation reserve. Now when claim is greater, that means, let's say that we take the same example, workmen compensation reserve is 20,000, but now the claim is 22,000. So in that case, out of the claim of 22,000, only 20,000 can be covered up from WCR. The remaining amount which is not covered up is transferred to revaluation account. Therefore, we have passed this entry where WCR is debited with the total amount of reserve, that is 20. Claim is credited with the total amount of claim, that is 22. And the 2,000 amount which is left, which cannot be covered up from WCR, is transferred to revaluation account. The moment you see the revaluation account here, you will instantly transfer it to partner's capital account if it is a 3-mark question. In the bigger question, automatically it goes to revaluation account and then it gets transferred to partner's capital account. But in a smaller question, like for carrying 3 marks, there you have to pass this entry where revaluation is transferred to partner's current account. So these were the different cases in case of workmen compensation reserve. Moving on to the next topic, that is investment fluctuation fund or reserve. Investment fluctuation fund is kept in order to take care of the various fluctuations that may happen in the value of investment. So whenever there is a change in the book value or market value of investment, whenever there is a fluctuation or a loss, that loss can be covered up through IFR. Again, IFR has to be written off to the partner's capital account in the old ratio. But here also certain adjustments are there. The first is when the book value and market value are same. That means if we have recorded the investments at 2 lakh and their market value is also 2 lakh, then we don't have to worry, there is no loss. So IFR is simply distributed between the partners' capital in the old ratio. So total amount of IFR is distributed. Next we have when the market value is lower than the book value. In that case, that means that the book value is 2 lakh, but the market value, let's say, is rupees 1,90,000. In that case, there is a loss of 10,000. That loss should be covered up from IFR. So therefore, when again there are certain other cases in that when the fallen value means like I gave you an example, book value is 2 lakh and market value is 1,90,000. So the fallen value is 10,000. So when the fall in value, that is 10,000, is lesser than the IFR, let's say we had the IFR of 20,000. So that means the fall in value is lesser than IFR. So in that case, what would be the entry? We can easily cover up our loss from IFR. So our entry would be IFR account DR to investment would be credited with the amount of fallen value, and the remaining amount will be distributed between the partners in their profit sharing ratio. I'm again repeating, I hope there's no confusion. IFR is debited with the total amount of IFR, let's say 20. Investment is credited with the amount of loss, let's say 10, and partners capital account is credited with the balance, that is 10,000 in the old ratio. The next case is when the fallen value is equal to IFR. That means that 10,000, the fallen value was equal to the amount of IFR. Let's say IFR was given as 10,000 in the books. So fallen value and IFR are same. So IFR will be the fallen value will be covered up from IFR to the total amount. So if IFR is 10 and the fallen value is also 10, it can easily be covered up. So there is nothing which is left to be distributed between the partners. The next case is when the fallen value is greater than IFR. Okay. So now again, when let's say the fallen value is 20,000, but the IFR is only 15,000. In that case, what will we do? IFR will be debited with the full amount, that is 15,000. Now the fallen value will be credited to investment account, I think I took as 20,000, and the remaining 5,000, which is the loss, it will be transferred to revaluation account. And I've already told you that moment you see the revaluation account, instantly you have to transfer it to the partner's capital account in the old ratio. The last case is when there is an increase in the market value of investment. Now, there is no fall in the market value of investment. Whenever there is a fall, only then IFR is used to cover up the loss. But when there is an increase in the market value of investment, that means there is a gain. There is a gain that's happening to the existing partners. So that gain, you don't need to cover up any gain. So that's why the entry would be the IFR would be distributed between the partners in their old ratio. Then the increase in the value of investment will be transferred to revaluation. So revaluation is credited, and because of increase in asset, investment account is debited, and the moment you see revaluation account, very right, you have to transfer it to partners capital account in the old ratio. So these were the various cases in case of investment fluctuation reserve or fund and workman compensation reserve. On the basis of the content that I've just explained to you, you have to attempt the exercise question number from 26 to 28 from T.S. Garewal. I hope the concepts were clear to you, and I have explained retirement of a partner and the treatment of reserves and accumulated profits with special reference to workman compensation reserve and IFR, investment fluctuation fund. I hope everything is clear to you. If you have any questions, you can contact me on my email ID, or you can leave any comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel in case you really liked it. So this is Inside Accountancy by Shakun signing off. Thank you.